this chair is...
Make fun of my chairs. I got the nice chairs. You prefer the ones that would sink into the dirt?
Yeah, actually I would.
I'll go grab them for now. You can have the happy chair.
No, we're good with this one. Okay.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 500 subs Ask Me Anything. This is the elusive Slug. Say hi, Slug.
Hello.
You want to tell them your real name or no?
Erin.
This is Erin. So she has been helping me with producing and going to be helping me with editing videos as soon as Amazon delivers the package. But yeah, so she's going to help me out with the Ask Me Anything video by reading off all of your questions, and I'm going to answer them. And I've had a chance to glance over a few of the questions, and
yeah. Okay.
Off we go.
Slug said, "Can you give me my drink?" Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Coming off strong. Sean W says, "What's it like having the biggest schlong in the drone game?"
We're off to a cursed start already. What's the next one?
Jiffers1316 says, "Are Pyrex dishes the grandparents of test tube babies?" I don't understand.
I don't understand that one either. I'm sorry.
I'll say yeah.
Sure.
Just because it sounds right.
Yeah, absolutely.
BLK string 6604 has a few questions. Do you pay for your drones completely, or does SAR help pay for it?
That's actually a really good question. So most of my drones are purchased by me. Several of them are purchased through my business because we actually use them for farming. So for instance, the M3T, the M30T are purchased through the farm because we use them for scouting fields, we use them for mapping, we use them for inspections and whatnot. So those are purchased through the business. Everything else is purchased by me. No drones I have right now are currently purchased by Search and Rescue. I am actually working on raising funds through doing videos like this, doing work for other people with drones, raising funds to purchase a drone dedicated to Search and Rescue.
All right. What do you need to get your Part 107 license?
Oh, man. It's been a while since I've done it. You will have to go through and create an account with the FAA, and I believe it's the IACRA. I will put the link information right here. And then you need to schedule a test and actually go to an FAA licensed testing facility to take your test to get the Part 107 license. You'll need, I believe, a driver's license or some form of photo ID, but you will definitely need to study all of the questions for Part 107. It is not just a license you can walk in and get. It took me about 3 or so weeks of solid study using a question app and going through several hours worth of YouTube videos in order to get the knowledge I need.
On average, how long are your SAR missions?
Several hours. I have yet to go on a mission that has been overnight, although we've had a couple in the past. Generally, most of our SAR missions come up in the mountains, which that adds a lot of time to the mission itself because we have to form up, get all of our equipment ready, and take the hour and a half drive up to the mountains, unload all the equipment, and then go and try and find the person. So they all differ, but on average, I'd say several hours, probably 6 to 8 is what I'd guess the average would be, depending on how lost a person is. If they've wandered away from their house and they're in town or something, then it's sometimes shorter. But if they're up in the mountains where most of our calls come from, they're several hours long.
I still remember the call that you got where they had called and it said that you guys were close by. Well, they were close by, and then they ended up actually, I believe, in Oregon? Was it Oregon?
I don't think it was Oregon, but we've had at least 2 calls where
it pinged it.
They pinged the cell phone, and they ended up being about 15 miles away into the next county over, and we were searching in a completely wrong area. And we had snowmobiles, we had side-by-sides, we even had helicopter assets looking up there, and we couldn't find them because they were very far away. So don't always trust cell phone pings.
Yeah. How many drones do you have, and do you only use one for SAR?
Mini 3, Mini 4, FPV, Avata, Mavic 3, M30, So that's 6 total off the top of my head. And I use 2 for search and rescue. That would be the Mavic and the Matrice, mostly because they have the infrared sensors on them. Infrared has become a very useful tool for search and rescue, especially in wintertime. So those are 2 I mainly use for search and rescue.
All right. Also, congrats on 500 subs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, doing good. Last question from this person. I got another question. Do you get paid year-round or just for rescues? And you don't have to answer this, but how much do you get paid to be a pilot?
I would love to be paid, but no.
I would love to be paid.
No. So, I'm not paid through Search and Rescue. Search and Rescue is a completely all volunteer organization. We are not paid anything for our services. We're not paid anything for our trainings. I am not paid anything to fly for Search and Rescue. I do it because I love helping people. I am working on becoming paid for flying video, getting photos and videos for people around, real estate, farmers and whatnot that want videos made. I'm working on becoming paid for that, and then plan on donating a certain amount of that back to Search and Rescue. But to mostly answer the question, I get paid nothing for Search and Rescue, and I'm okay with that.
0. Ryan95938. Where did you get that really cool hat in the first few minutes of the video?
So that would not be this really cool hat, which, speaking of which, we have Northwind aerial imaging hats now. So we will be, we'll talk about that later in the video. But in the 500 sub video, I was wearing a Butte County Search and Rescue supporter hat. I am not affiliated, not a part of Butte County Search and Rescue, but they are a really good group of guys. I do work with them on drone training and search and rescue efforts and whatnot. But yeah, that was Butte County Search and Rescue. Support them.
Andrew K. How does it feel having to block out the IR imagery of your massive schlong when doing rescue? I'm sorry. How does it feel to having to block out the IR imagery of your massive schlong when doing rescue missions?
Andrew and Sean, you will pay for this.
I don't know them.
I do.
But you know what? All right. Aaron Pence 4993 says, I wonder who that could be. Going off your most recent video, poor slug. Don't force slug to wear layers and layers of clothing. I agree, Aaron. But I wonder if it would be easier to hide from the drone in the middle of a California summer. What you think?
We'll discuss the layers of clothing later.
Okay. I'm
no promises.
Just saying. Poor slug.
Jesus, what are we getting invaded? It's a giant jet.
That sounds crazy. Your pager sounds like it's on. Or do you not have it on you? What is that?
No, I have it on, but no, that's the jet flying over. Anyways, we're doing a video, aren't we? Summer is definitely harder to find people. Mostly because your infrared is not going to work as well. When you're using infrared, you're looking for the difference in temperatures between the cold ground and a warm body. And so when everything is the same ambient temperature, we're 98.6 degrees. And if the ground's 98.6 degrees, you're going to look like one solid color. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to use the infrared as well. You're going to have to rely more on the wide and zoom views in order to try and find someone. So summers are definitely a little bit tougher. So that's why I'm looking forward to this summer doing a lot more training on how to better use drones during the summer.
All right. Sean W. says, it's okay. It's okay. What's your favorite video you've made and why? Great question, Sean.
That is a great question. I'd probably say tie between a year in rice and a camo versus drones video. The year in rice mostly because it was such a labor of love to make, and I learned so much doing it because I started filming around this time last year and wrapped up in November of last year. So I filmed for like 10 months of all sorts of different stuff, then put it together. And I felt like it was really educational in telling people where rice comes from. The camo versus drones video I think is probably tied for favorite because it was one of the first videos where I felt very comfortable speaking to the camera. I felt very comfortable working with the camera. It was when I finally was getting even more comfortable with like making videos as a whole. So I was a lot faster at making everything, was a lot better at my editing skills and whatnot, especially like the voiceover. I was just all in all more comfortable, and it turned out being something I thought was quite informative and just very fun.
I think that one's my favorite.
It was fun.
If I'm going to fall asleep, the Year of Rice, but without the talking, that one,
yep,
that's it.
You'll like the next video I've got. I just finished up. I finished up that tractor video last night, yes. And it's like an hour and 10 minutes of just nice music and tractors driving.
My son would love that.
Fingers crossed. Show it to your kids.
All right, Andrew K. It's fine.
Why is it always you two?
What is one area you would love to fly your drone in the western half of the United States?
I actually already have kind of a plan for that. Plan as if I'll ever have time off to go and try and go there. I really want to go to Black Rock Desert, which is up in like the northeast part of California, west side of Nevada. I've heard it's terrible to go to when it's rainy, which it has been for the last several months.
Yeah.
But I really want to go up there and explore that area because I am a huge enjoyer of deserts. Obviously, New Mexico is practically my second home at this point. So hoping to go up there and check that place out and get some footage up there.
What about the eastern half of the United States?
Oh, that I would have to think about because, I mean, well, you and I both lived on the East Coast for a bit.
I would say New York, but like the like hills of
okay,
New York.
I was gonna say New York,
not New York City.
I was gonna say because that right there, I guarantee you is a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
So
no, the hills of New York would be gorgeous.
So that
or Pennsylvania, like the Poconos.
That I would agree because when I was in the honor guard in the military, I actually got to do a couple funerals up in like the tri-state area. Go up there to do like, especially in like the fall when all the trees are changing color. And there's just all that fog. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I loved that area so much. So if I had to guess, I'd probably agree with Aaron. Go up there to the Poconos, go up there to the northern part, I think northern part of New York, mm-hmm. where like all of the forested hills are. Like Sleepy Hollow, I actually got to.
Weren't you stationed at like Fort Dix?
I was. Joint Base, McGuire, Dix, Lakehurst.
Yep.
Shout out JBMDL. I don't miss you.
All right. User... You know what? I know who this is. My sister-in-law said, congrats on 500 plus subs. My question is, for somebody who knows absolutely nothing about drones, what would you recommend for an easy beginner drone? One that is simple, user-friendly, but still capable of high-quality video.
I actually have a perfect answer for that, and I swear I'm not sponsored by DJI, even though all of my drones are DJI products. But the DJI Mini 3 or Mini 3 Pro to be exact, is a very good entry-level drone. It's very small. It's about this wide total wingspan. It can fit practically in a pocket. And since the Mini 4 Pro came out, they've dropped the price on it substantially. And it will get you very good photos and videos. It'll film all the way up to 4K, 60 frames per second, although if you have an older style laptop like Aaron, it'll brick your laptop trying to load that high quality footage. But it's
a Chromebook.
From when?
From last year.
Still bricked it.
It was $60.
I tried to send
it was for school.
Gotcha. For the camera, I sent Aaron some footage to edit, and it actually crashed her computer.
Yeah.
So, but it will film like 4K 30 FPS is very, very high quality. A lot of my videos are filmed in that. I believe this video is actually filmed in that. It is very easy to learn, very small, and the barrier to entry cost-wise is quite low. So I recommend anyone who wants to kind of get into drone photography, videography, go with the Mini 3 Pro. And if you have a little extra cash, go with the Mini 4 Pro. They take the same battery.
Also, this is a plea. Please sponsor TJI. Please sponsor.
Please.
I'm begging at this point.
Please.
All right. Katrina says, are you going to use drones with fires? Not structure fires, but wildland, because those videos would be insane.
I would love to. It depends on the size of the wildland fire.
Don't lose your drone in a fire.
No. So like small fires that we have in like our area, absolutely. They're great for getting a good, because it'll peer through the smoke, especially with the infrared, and you can get a good idea of what the fire activity is doing, get a good above the ground video to, especially if you share it with live feed, you can send it to the on-scene commander to get a better tactical analysis of what's going on. See, I use big words like tactical analysis, people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But for like large vegetation fires, like the fire we had last year, which is like 115 acres, once it becomes a CAL fire incident, once it becomes like a larger incident, especially where there's, you know, command aircraft, tanker aircraft, helicopters in the area, no, ground your drones, because if I will put the exact statute right here, the exact California law that makes it legal for first responders to shoot your drone down, which is something we'll talk about here soon. Don't do that, because if you're flying a drone, they can't. They will have to vacate the airspace, because you do not want a helicopter plane crashing into a heavy piece of metal and plastic flying a couple hundred feet in the air, because that's how you unalive people. So I would like to, just going to depend on the size of the incident.
Yeah. I remember the first like introduction I got to the drones was at a fire with you, when I was just sitting back and you had me spotting.
That's actually, yeah, deep Northwind aerial imaging lore. That's why Erin is my assistant, because she was one of the only people that didn't initially make fun of me for getting into the drones. And she's like, hey, I'd like to help. I'd like to learn. And then
they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool. And the next thing you know, I'm like, cool. Well, if you like them so much, here's this computer. Help me make videos, please.
Here's this computer that hasn't been delivered yet.
We're trying. Come on, Amazon.
Amazon hates me at this point. Katrina also said, how's the parachute thing coming along?
That got put on hold because the guy who was helping me with the parachute, John, he's a contractor who, if you're in the Northern California area and you need anything done in your house, I will recommend him to you. He is a great dude, does great work. But while we were working on that parachute, he was building our upstairs bathroom, and we were spending too much time trying to develop this medical kit that could be dropped by a drone that had a parachute attached to it, that eventually my wife pulled us both aside, and she's like, hey, I'm glad you guys are having fun, but I really want my bathtub. My wife had a surgery recently, and she basically was prescribed to take baths often to promote healing, and we were significantly delaying it with our shenanigans. So that's been put on hold, and it's also been, I know, and it's been put on hold because of the weather. The kit for dropping the parachute that plugs into the Matrice 30, when you plug it in, it no longer provides the same level of waterproofness to the drone. So we haven't been able to really fly it and test it in the rain. So we're waiting for it to not be rainy to get back onto it. It is always in the back of my mind. We have a pretty good working prototype, but I'm hoping to really refine it down a little bit more. So it's still in the works. Haven't forgotten about it. Isiflon? I don't know. Oh yeah, he's one of the guys on Discord I play video games with.
Cool. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name if I did. Best drone right now?
That is a very wide open question. I actually even kind of chatted about that when he sent me the question. It highly depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get into photography, the Mini 3, Mini 4 Pro are very good options. If you got a little more cash to throw around, the Mavic 3 Pro has kind of a strange looking camera on it, but it is probably the best camera drone you can get right now. If you're looking into getting into search and rescue, either the Mavic 3T, the Mavic 3T for thermal, or the Matrice 30T, if you can spend a little bit more. The Matrice is a beast to fly, is a lot more expensive, has 2 batteries on it, but it can fly in the rain, which is huge. Being able to fly when it is high winds and pouring down rain is a really big benefit.
All right. Taken, I'm guessing. Best drone for mountain biking footage?
Gotcha. GoPro, probably. Especially if you can get like a 360 GoPro, the one that films all around you. I know it's not a drone, but having that mounted to your helmet will get you some good footage. Everything else is going to take a little bit of extra work. I know I keep mentioning it, but the Mini series, the Mini 3 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, well, actually you can draw a box around someone on the screen and it'll follow you. Whether it'll keep up with your mountain bike, whether it'll stay locked onto you, can't promise that. If you have a group of people you like to go with, and you want to get some really good cinematic footage, a good FPV drone with a GoPro attached to it, or something like the DJI Avata that has a very good camera on it that you can also fly with FPV goggles, first person view if you don't know what that means. That would be great because you can get really close, really tight maneuvers and whatnot, but that requires someone filming with you and them having to wear goggles the entire time in order to fly it.
Which, that can cause motion sickness, oddly.
To some.
Max and Jess said, what is your most embarrassing moment while out on a call? Well, what kind of call are we talking about?
I would assume, you know, search and rescue or firefighting call. Might be recency bias, but time to tell the story to the world. I was using my Matrice 30T to fly and illuminate a structure fire scene, as well as check for extension to the attic from the fire. And I had a spotlight attached to it, which I won't say the name of because I don't want to get sued. And for whatever reason, it caused some electrical interference with the drone. It turned off all of the running lights. It cut all video feed from all the cameras to the drone. And the only way I was able to fly the drone at all was the flashing navigational beacon on the bottom. And I tried to land it. And while landing, one of the motors shorted out and caused the drone to fall out of the sky and land about 5 feet away from one of the fire engines in front of a group of about 20 people. And yeah, drone impacting pavement was not good, but at least no one was hurt, but besides my pride. Yeah, the fire department gave me the Pilot of the Year award for that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna hang that plaque up with pride next to my Firefighter of the Year award from a couple years ago and just own it. So yeah, be careful what spotlights you put on your drones, especially if they plug into the PSDK system, because they will interfere with the drone sometimes, and not ideal when your expensive aircraft crashes into the dirt.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? Fudge, yes.
I want to believe. One of my family members is very much a believer in Bigfoot, where he actually goes looking for Bigfoot with some friends.
Which family member is this? Because I want to go. Where is this?
It's up in Mendocino. We'll talk to my wife about it afterwards.
Okay.
He's gone up there. He's heard sounds. I do believe, and I know, having glanced over the questions, this is going to come up again. There is stuff out in the woods. If there is Bigfoot, it's interesting he hasn't been found yet. But then again, having gone on a bunch of search and rescue missions, I know how easy it is for, even in the modern age, for people and their vehicles to go missing up in the mountains, let alone find something that doesn't want to be hit, doesn't want to be found up there.
I imagine he's having a party up there with other, like, you know, mythical creatures.
Possibly. I would like to believe. I am skeptical, especially since our Lord and Savior, Stephen Ranella, has talked about often. Don't look at me about the father of conservation like that.
I just bought his cookbook.
I love Stephen Ranella.
I actually pre-ordered his next cookbook for Ty.
I didn't know there was a new cookbook, so I'll be adding that.
April 26th.
Yeah, big fans of Meat Eater. I know we're a small channel, but go watch Meat Eater show, watch the Meat Eater, or listen to Meat Eater podcast. But he talks a lot about how there's been no Bigfoot bones found. There's been no Bigfoot scat found. Bigfoot's never been hit by a truck crossing the mountain passes and whatnot.
Okay, but Bigfoot isn't dead. So there wouldn't be bones found. And I think there's one Bigfoot, if anything.
What, you think he's just blurry? Mitch Hedberg? You don't get the joke?
No.
Oh, okay, well, we'll fix that.
I'm just a child.
So we have no living specimens of him. So it's hard to fully believe, but I would like to. It would be very interesting if there were cryptids out in the woods. I find myself going down that rabbit hole when I can't sleep at night and reading all sorts of stuff about like that, which is just great. Reading,
you find yourself in rabbit holes.
Yeah, when you're trying. Well, yeah, it's great when you're trying to sleep, so you start reading about all the terrifying encounters people have out in the woods.
I love when TikTok shows me scary videos when I'm going to bed, or like 3 a.m. when I'm trying to go back to sleep.
Yeah, so you're like just tired enough to where a point where you're just like, man, okay, well, you know, I guess I'll pull up my phone. Next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. You're wide awake, going, what is eating people in the woods and leaving their clothes folded on a rock? So,
that or like the ghost videos.
Yeah. Anyways, I would like to believe Bigfoot is real.
He is.
It would be nice.
He is.
Don't know.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
I do. I know that's strange going right off the Bigfoot question and saying I'm a healthy skeptic.
Have a little.
I don't know how much of the paranormal I believe in, but there's definitely lots of unexplained stuff in the world we live in that whether, I would love the answers to, whether it boils my mind or not, but
I believe in
there's spooky stuff. Oh yeah, so I would say so.
You have anything that haunts out here?
Not here, but like out in the woods, whether it's paranormal or Bigfoot, I definitely have gotten that feeling of
being watched
and also being lured into the woods. There's been at least one search and rescue mission where I was rooted to the spot staring at one mountain peak where like I felt something calling to me, something pulling me in a certain direction.
I believe those are fays.
Yep, and we're going to get into that in another question, I guarantee it. So yes, I do believe in the paranormal. There's a lot of spooky stuff in the world.
I genuinely believe that my trailer has, like where my trailer is, I live in a fifth wheel, but like right where my trailer is, I swear it is like just infested with spirits.
The second armory I worked at in the military was haunted. The printer would print off just random words like "help me." It printed off a handwritten note. Like I had written, it was some sort of receipt for something, serial numbers, whatnot. Handwritten it, set it up at the front desk, walked back to the office, heard the printer fire up, and I walked over, and it had printed off an exact same copy of what I'd handwritten. Everyone there, every single person from my boss, tech sergeant, all the way down to like our new hire A1Cs, saw shadow people in between the racks, the weapon racks. That armory was haunted. We would hear voices, and like that armory was dang near soundproofed because it was an armory. We had to protect all of the weapons and everything in there. We would hear voices. We would see people, like shadow people walking around there. That armory was 100% haunted.
That's terrifying.
It was horrifying.
My grandmother started collecting porcelain clowns.
No.
Dolls.
Why?
And then, do you remember like that bear? I forget exactly what its name was. It started with an R, but you like put a tape in it and it would read the tape to you. I'm going to have to look it up and send it to you. The bear, so we had to stay at their house sometimes when my brother was sick. And I can still, like, the bear just started talking and it wasn't even the right story. Like there was a tape already in him, but he was reading a different story. And I remember just hi. I remember sitting there,
Zoe,
crying. Like crying, begging it to stop. And then I swear I saw the clowns' heads move. And then growing up, we lived in a house where like I swore that my little sister's room had a spirit, but not like a bad spirit, like, hi. Oh my gosh, I need a dog break. Come here, give me love. Okay, dog break over. I read this question in my head and I hate Max and Jess right now. What's one song that you can't get out of your head no matter how hard you try? Cheese Hat 10 from Pink Fong.
Oh God, now it's gonna be stuck in mine. Oh.
Your kids still watch Pink Fong?
My daughter loves Pink Fong.
I hate that song.
Oh God.
I text my sister every time I have to listen to it because little man like will not stop crying unless it's playing sometimes in the car. So I text my sister every time, I hate you so much.
It's not a child song. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Sing it.
I think it's I Remember Everything by Justin Moore. Correctly? If we have internet this far out here.
Let's see. We're gonna search this up. I don't get service.
No. Anyways, I will link the song again right here. This is where we're going to put all the links for various things. Yeah, that song stuck in my head because it's quite a nice song. And it was one of the songs that got me to kind of stop drinking, really. Yeah, that song has been playing through my mind a lot recently because I've been working on
Zach Bryan, I love you.
Yeah. So that's the song that's stuck in my head mostly now.
I listen to him for sad girl hours.
Those are important.
Can we please make a shirt for you that has frogs and drones on it? Maybe like a tactical frog man?
I am all for tactical frogs and drones. There's no further answer to that. Yes, please. I love frogs and drones and tactical
Toads.
stuff.
He likes toads. His name in my phone is Toads by Tim.
I like that. I need a tactical toad patch.
You know that shirt that I have that says "Kiss my butt" and it's a toad?
Yes.
Okay, we should do one like that.
Or if we can get that with a toad riding like a drone. That'd be hilarious.
How
Toad
far
on the
can you
drone.
fly a drone before it loses connection? That's depending on which drone.
Legally, you are not supposed to fly drones past your line of sight. It depends on how much stuff is in your way. Trees, rocks, mountains, and everything that will really decrease your range. You can fly them because it's all radio controlled. So if the radio waves can't go through the stuff, then you're gonna have a really hard time.
It's all depending on you.
Yeah, it's gonna depend. It's gonna depend on your area.
Jake. Hello, Jake. Or Tito. What device are you using to record this video? GoPro Hero 11 Black. It is already outdated. I got it because all of my other GoPros were even more outdated. And as I started making more and more videos, I realized, okay, I better not just record from the drone. I'm going to need to record myself speaking into it and record like the controls and everything. So yeah, GoPro Hero 11 Black, not sponsored. Yeah. Anonymous questions. What was the weirdest call you had to go on as a first responder?
God, we have so many weird calls. But like, there's never really been one where I've just been like, what the dickens was that?
I have.
All right, well, you answer it then. I'll start thinking.
We got a call for a lift assist, and I walked in, very large woman, legs wide open, and I'm right there. That was something to walk in on. Or it could be the naked man that I chased around the hospital one time. That was in Jersey, though.
Strangest one that comes to mind was we had a guy had a seizure and had no idea where he was, and he was getting ready to fight us. And I remember one of my firefighters, who nicest guy you'll ever meet. I remember him turning around to me, handing me the medical notepad and everything, and he goes, "Tim, get ready to fight." And I'm like, okay. And so we were getting there. We had the cops coming. We were sitting here going, this guy's, because he was doing the pacing back and forth, the swinging the fist. We're getting ready to. Eventually, his friend convinced him to get in the ambulance. Got him in the ambulance. We rode with him to the hospital just in case he tried to fight the medic. And about 5 minutes into the drive, he goes, "Where am I?" "Well, we're taking you to the hospital. You had a seizure." "I did?" "Yes."
That's how it happens.
Huh. Odd. He's completely switched from guy was ready to fight us to, yeah. That one was pretty interesting. That when you have a man of God turn around and tell you get ready to fight, it's kind of a
that's scary.
Lord. But yeah, that's the problem with 10 years of calls, kind of, because I've been firefighting for 10 years. They all kind of blur together. There's definitely weird calls. So maybe we'll say that for another video. All the weirdest calls I've been on.
What is the weirdest thing you've seen while flying the drone? Me.
Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I could probably the closest thing is flying around, inspecting the canals around us, and you see a bunch of stuff floating in the water, and you're like, "What is that?" And you fly forward, and it's a dozen pigs. A dozen pigs.
What?
In the water.
You didn't call me?
No, they were dead.
Oh.
There was a bunch of rotting pig carcasses in like the swirl that goes like where like the canal goes under like the road, and they're sitting there like the cow being tossed in a tornado for cinematic value.
What? When was this?
Last year. If we flew up there, we'd probably find some flying around there right now. So that's always kind of odd when you're flying. You're like, oh, that's nice.
That's in our water.
I haven't seen too many weird things. I've flown around in the mountains looking for Bigfoot before. Haven't spotted him yet.
But he believes.
Semi. That's probably the weirdest thing. A dozen pigs floating into the water. All.
Who's your favorite celebrity and why? Ryan Gosling.
Oh, thank you. Ryan Gosling. I was like, in my mind I said Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, no, that's not right. No, Ryan Gosling. I am a big fan of Ryan Gosling.
Make sure that when you're editing this, like, you get my wink.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling, and then on the female end of the spectrum, God, I can't remember her name. Played Marjorie Tyrell in Game of Thrones.
I've never seen an episode.
I can't remember her name. It'll come to me in a bit. But yeah, her.
Miley Cyrus. She's hot.
Get out. Get out.
You need me. Hardest part about boot camp while you were in the military?
God, that was 14 years ago.
Start bringing up his PTSD right now.
Yeah. You're never alone. Never alone. You are constantly surrounded by people, generally people that are just as scared as you, or people
Sounds
that
like
are
being a parent.
Scared. You're not wrong. Yeah, you wake up with people, you go to bed with people, you shower with people. You never have a moment to yourself, and you are constantly doing something. There is very, very little downtime.
You just perfectly described a breastfeeding mother.
I still think I have it tougher.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a good line. I think that's how we'll end that. Boot camp is like giving birth and breastfeeding. You're never alone, and you're always in pain. There goes the U.S. government sponsorship.
Frogs or toads? Toads, 100%.
Toads.
Yeah.
I love frogs. I grew up loving frogs, but toads are my jam, especially like the little American toads and everything we have around here where they make the little...
I'm going to send you a picture of me holding a toad, so happy.
Perfect. Yeah, they got the tiny little buns and whatnot. That's good. Going off the rails. But no, toads. I love toads.
If the cops or military are trying to find a suspect and are using a drone to help out, are there ways they can hide from the drone or hide their identity? I feel like your last video.
Yes, go watch Camouflage versus Drones. This is probably going to be the first part in a series. I'm actually working on next sort of video with Erin's husband, hoping to do some training on that to better hide from drones. Kind of a weird dichotomy because I watch a lot of combat footage and I'm always trying to find out ways to counter drones in case we end up having to fight them. But also being, prior military, prior law enforcement, and being in search and rescue, I'm constantly trying to figure out, okay, how to better find people with drones. So we are going to be doing a lot more testing. We're getting pieces together for a specific video on hiding from thermal. If you watched the last video, Camouflage versus Drones, we found out that we had our ponchos were pretty good at defeating the thermal, and I have some better ideas. Your husband has some better ideas to hide from them that we're going to be working together. So look for content like that coming out.
Aren't you guys making a video on like hiding from a drone for 24 hours?
Gonna look into something like that, yeah. For hiding identity, wear a mask. This is the best thing I can tell.
Cover your tattoos.
Cover your tattoos, or don't have any like me, because my body is a temple.
I got a tattoo from a 12-year-old, so.
None of the drones I have right now have facial recognition technology. He says, right now. Oh, sweet. Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. But again, everything I have some stuff that's consumer grade, and I have some stuff that is more higher end. None of it has facial recognition. Everything I have probably pales in comparison to what the government has. So,
are the drones high tech enough to see someone as clear as day? Did I read that one already?
No, you have not.
Okay, that's the next one. Yes.
Yes. It obviously is going to depend on your range, but for instance, like the Matrice 30T, and again, that's not consumer grade, what I would call, but it is. You can buy it without having to like really shell out a ton of money. That has a 200 times zoom. It'll be fairly blurry at 200 times zoom because it starts zooming in digitally. But it
terrifies me.
It's pretty terrifying. I was able to track her husband from a half mile away. Literally just tap on him and follow him and watch him wash the car.
Scary.
Yeah. It's going to depend on the range, going to depend on your elevation and whatnot, but there are definitely drones out here that they can make out a lot of defining features on you from quite a distance away.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah.
Somebody spying on me with a drone. Is it possible to completely hide from the heat sensor on a drone? We kind of
covered that. We're working on it. We have some videos hopefully coming up here soon where we really are going to try and beat the thermal in a couple different ways.
I'm going to beat the thermal.
Yeah, because you're going to wear like 30 pairs of shirts and jackets and
What if I just wore like 2 long sleeves, 2 short sleeves, and a Carhartt?
Well, we're going to start with that. And then we're going to keep adding on layers of clothing until we can't see
Until
anymore.
I look like Patrick Star?
Yes.
Okay.
Hiding from the thermal, honestly, anything super solid between you and the IR sensor is really going to help. Like, so for instance, the infrared will just like barely penetrate glass, will not really penetrate water at all. Obviously, like large tree canopies through here, you're still going to get seen because there's open air to the sky. You'll still get your thermal signature through that. But like if you're under metal, if you're in a building, the IR signature is not going to find you. But as for like,
if I go underwater,
if you're underwater, I shouldn't be able to see you at all. Because like we used a drone to try and search for a missing person who unfortunately drowned, and we couldn't find anyone underwater at all. So
yeah,
no, because again, it's just getting that surface area temperature is all it's reading.
Okay. Why drones? Why not?
Why not? If you're asking why I got into them, I saw a certain combat footage video during the beginning of the Russo-Ukrainian war, where a Ukrainian soldier took off from an armored personnel carrier flying a DJI FPV drone, and he was riding there full combat gear, and he puts these goggles with antennas over his face, and I went, I didn't even know that technology existed. I'd never even heard of really FPV drones until then.
Really?
No, had no idea.
You don't go on TikTok enough.
No, I don't go on TikTok at all.
That's my job.
That is your job. That is, yeah, you're in charge of the trends and whatnot.
That's what I do when I can't sleep at night.
Yeah, so no, I had no idea about that. I saw that video and ordered myself a DJI FPV the next day and got into that and had a lot of fun. And as I started flying that, I was like, well, I could really use a drone for this instead. And now I have a lot, and it's become a second job.
It's become an obsession. This is actually...
What, are you my wife now?
This is actually a, what do you call it? One of those things where we tell you that you have a problem, you know? And that you need help. Damn it, not again. All right, what's with the vest, dude? You're not wearing it right now. I'm very proud of you.
I'm not wearing it right now because I'm in my comfort zone. I don't need
Round of applause.
My emotional. Hey, Bubbas. Hey,
oh gosh, not again.
Hey, dogs.
Dog break. It is his emotional support vest.
Thank you. I forgot the word. Just my emotional support.
He wears it actually quite often.
To like not joke about it. To not joke about it, and then I was literally going to face that with, to not joke about it, let me quote a meme. The meme of, hey friend, I know the world's a scary place right now, but it's going to get a lot worse. I've had a vest and helmet for quite some time, and then again, when the Russo-Ukrainian war kicked off, I got upgraded my armor and whatnot, because the world is a scary place. To like not joke about it for a second, I don't know if you guys watching this, have you noticed the political climate we live in now? Have you noticed the state of the world? Have you read any news? Have any of you like read the news going back to 2016 at that Cincinnati Zoo with that gorilla? Nothing has ever been the same since.
Dick's out for Harambe.
Dick's out for Harambe. But no, the world's a scary place, and it keeps getting scarier. And having armor to protect yourself so you protect your family is a worthy investment. I wear it often. Yes, I wear it for jokes and videos, but I also wear it often just to keep myself familiar with moving in it.
Speaking of tactical, Tim, where'd the name come from?
I literally made it up on the spot. For the last video, for camouflage versus drones, rather, I knew I wanted to do voiceover to give some crucial context to the video, so it wasn't just me flying around aimlessly, because that's not good content. So I knew I wanted to do voiceover, and then when I started editing it and I realized, wow, the audio is really terrible because we didn't have these fancy little mics and everything.
Hello.
Yeah. That's when I was like, I knew I needed to do some sort of preamble to the video to be like, hey, the audio on this is pretty terrible. I'm sorry. And when I was doing that, I was thinking about recording it in front of the computer, and then I went, no. So literally in an instant, I was like, I'm going to go outside and film this in my salmon pink shorts and my vest and helmet and just do something funny. I'm a big fan of bits. I will always commit to the bit.
Yes.
So it was just literally made it up on the spot because it was funny to me, which is how most of this channel has gone to, is just hey, you know what would be funny?
What got you started into drones and search and rescue?
I feel like the drones already got answered with the video of the Ukrainian soldier. Search and rescue was something I'd thought about for a long time. I used to be a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout. So I've always loved being up in the mountains, canoeing, hiking, adventuring, camping. Loved all of that. So I always wanted to get back into that. And then what really spurred me to get back into it was I had a friend go missing several years ago, and he completely vanished off the face of the earth, disappeared for like a week, and I spent several days over that week searching, combing the canals with the sonar, seeing if I could find a vehicle, because that's, unfortunately, we have so many canals around here, and we've pulled a lot of people and cars out of canals.
There was just one last year.
Yeah, there was. There seems to be one or two every year.
Yeah.
And so that got me into that. That's what, when he went missing, after we did finally found him, he had basically just gone off grid for a while. And
didn't tell anyone?
No, didn't tell anyone. No, didn't tell his family at all. So yeah, tell your family if you're going to go missing, please. It's really awful when your family has no idea what's happened to you.
Yeah.
So that got me into, that made me go, you know what, it's time to join search and rescue. And so I joined. I think I've been in search and rescue, I think it'll be 5 years now. And I've really enjoyed it. Our organization has come a very, very long way, and I'm extremely proud of the job we do in search and rescue.
It's come a long way, just in like the past 3 years. Because I had never, okay, I might be stupid for this, but I had actually never heard of search and rescue for County until I met you, and then I started seeing more and more posts about it because of you. And then now it's all over my TikTok, it's all over my Facebook, all over Instagram. Same thing with drones. So
it's the subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join your local search and rescue organization. They need your help.
What made you think of drones versus camo, and are you going to do more like that?
Yes, we are definitely doing more like that. That was the first video, especially with Travis, where we kind of like worked together. It was like, I think it was the first guest I really brought on to be like, hey, let's make a video on this.
Curse you, Travis.
Well, you're going to probably be in a lot more of them.
But I am an unpaid intern.
Yet.
And
so far. We're working on
I feel like I should have been the first guest.
Well, I'm sorry. You're getting most lines. Thought of camo versus drones because just always trying to look at it from two different perspectives of if I'm trying to hide from the drones because I know what my drones are capable of and they terrify me. So I'm always trying to figure out how, if a opposing force is trying to use them against me, how best do I evade them? So that's why we brought out a couple different types of camouflage to try out. And yes, we are planning on more different types, hopefully going up to the hills here soon to film another video on that. Before it gets too warm, hoping to go up and do one in the snow. I just have no Arctic camouflage, so we're going to have to kind of...
I think I have some.
Well, good to know. Well,
yeah. Well, I'll look.
Yeah, and then hoping to do some in the summer. Would love to do some in the desert. There's all sorts of different ones I would like to do to keep testing it to see, okay, what's the limits of the drone, what's the limits of the drone operator, and what's the limits of the various types of camouflage we can use to try and evade them.
All right. What's the craziest thing you've done with the drones?
Probably.
Cut.
Yeah.
I don't think you should answer that one.
I think I mean, the flying the FPV drone through that canyon in New Mexico was a lot of fun because that was 300
cool.
feet straight up and then like 300 feet straight down and diving. That was like the entire time flying in manual mode going, oh man, one slip.
That video made me want to go to New Mexico.
Oh, I love
I never had
canyon.
a thought to go there.
That canyon is incredible. I love it. It's Diablo Canyon. Go watch the video if you haven't yet. And flying the drones through that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had no intention or want to go to New Mexico. Maybe when I was younger, because that's where High School Musical was like said to be at. Yeah. You know, Disney.
I never wanted to go to New Mexico until I obviously started dating my wife, and that was kind of her second home. And now it is. I try to escape there as much as I can because it is. I always thought.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh, I always thought of New Mexico as basically just like, you know, just giant barren desert that's all hot. And now it's a no. We run away to New Mexico into summer because it's cooler there and it rains. And there's just the best food in the world, some of the best vistas and everything.
Next time, just shove me in the bag and I'll go with you. I don't want to pay for a ticket.
I'll shove you in the bag and try and check you. Hopefully, don't get too rattled around. We won't fly. Don't worry, they won't break you like they do guitars. Edit that out. We'll get sued.
Also, I found out recently that High School Musical was actually not filmed in New Mexico. Even though it says that they're in New Mexico, they're in Albuquerque. It's actually Utah. Which...
Good to know.
Yeah. Disney lied to me.
I haven't watched High School Musical. Don't look at me like that. Do I look like someone who watched High School Musical?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Just because I like The Greatest Showman.
Hey, that is a great movie.
Great movie. That's another song that's stuck in my head all the time from now on. God, I love that song. Anyways.
How old are you?
32. Staring down the double barrels of mortality.
You never ask a lady how old they are. I'm 24, but by the time this video's out, I'll probably be 25.
You're 24? You're
how old did you think I was? I literally just said I was a child.
I thought you were like 29.
Do I look that old?
Sit down. We need you. No, no, no.
How long does it take to make a video? Well, it takes about 45 minutes. The editing, on the other hand.
Oh, man. Depends on the video. So, like the video I just finished editing last night, which is basically just videos of tractors I've collected over the last year and just set the music. That one wasn't too long. That was, probably about two full work days worth of work for an hour and 10-minute long video. Something like the camouflage versus drones or the year in rice video, forever, because I was editing,
filming.
Yeah, I was filming on 5 different cameras because I was recording the screen of the drone, was capturing what the screen was seeing as well, 2 different things. Had thermal view, wide view, and zoom view because I was trying to capture all angles of it.
Where did you get all these cameras?
They're all in the same drone. This drone has, the M30T has 4 different cameras.
Jeez.
Or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 different cameras.
Wow.
And then I was on the GoPro, and then I had a clip or 2 from my phone. So I had to turn 7 different camera feeds into a coherent video while doing voiceover, while doing captions because the audio was scuffed. Had to add in music. Had to, just all of that together led to, oh God, 3 dozen hours, I think, for camouflage versus drones, and probably 50 hours for a year in rice. And that was, yeah, because I learned, but I learned a lot from the time I was editing year in rice to do camouflage versus drones. So the rule of thumb for like a good edited video with like a lot of different stuff going on in it is about an hour per minute. An hour of editing per minute of footage is kind of the rule of thumb. As you get better, and depends how, like this, I don't foresee being as long because we're not, adding music or anything to it really as much. Coffee.
All right, so anyways, cue music. Well, that was a great time for the music.
Yes.
Took a little break. Ooh, it's cold now.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm drinking iced cold brew coffee from Stumptown while
I got Starbies.
Already energized on coffee and frozen. Yeah.
Why are you always filming in fields? Why the f not?
I live on a farm. Where else do you want me to film?
I live in the middle of nowhere. Bum crap nowhere.
That's what editing's for.
Let's see. How hard is it to work with drones?
Depends what you're doing. Using a little Mini 3 to take photos and videos, not hard at all. Flying the Matrice 30, it's a large aircraft to put in the air. Gotta be careful where you're flying it. Flying something like the M300 series or the Agris T40 series, which are the large spraying drones, or Skycart 30, I think it is, like the big cargo drones. Yeah, you're flying a small helicopter. So have a lot of knowledge before you do that.
How long did it take for you to learn to fly drones? It took me 2 seconds to learn how to drive one drone.
Yeah, it's if you have played PlayStation or Xbox, anything at all with a controller, quite easy. It is thumbsticks and buttons. If you haven't played a lot of video games, probably a little bit harder to pick up, but coming from someone who's played them my entire life, already has the hand-eye coordination. If you're talking about like FPV drones, it takes a while to learn how to fly in manual mode. That took me probably about 20 hours on the flight simulator to get comfortable with it, and then started flying them just like the normal drones outside, and that took even longer because the flight simulator had the controls backwards. So I learned completely wrong. And then that took me quite a few hours of flying to get used to that. So manual mode, if you're, I mean, I'm an old man now. Learning how to fly it took me a while, but like if you're new and are good at learning new skills easily, it'll take you a while to learn how to fly manual mode, but it's doable. If I can do it, you can.
Have you ever used a drone for a real search and rescue mission?
Yep, there is a video on the channel you can go and watch. I will, right here, I believe it's drone, finding a missing person using thermal imaging, whatever it is. I can't remember the exact title.
Not to be confused with bones and drones.
Not to be confused with bones and drones. But no, so it was actually a little less than a year ago now. We had a missing person call. We were doing security for a rodeo nearby, and we had a missing person in like pitch black. There was a person who walked away from their camp and was quite inebriated and laid down in a ditch and fell asleep, and there was a big rainstorm coming in, and right before the rain I was able to locate her with the thermal imaging camera and find her, and then used a spotlight attachment on my Mavic 3 to guide the ground team in to come and get her and bring her back to camp. So that was an actual real world use case scenario where we were able to find someone with a drone and save them.
Drones are great for search and rescue. Do you use drones for stuff on the fields or just for fun?
Oh, I use them for stuff on the fields all the time. You look at these almond orchards all around us. Last week, almond. Almond. Oh, you call it salmon or you call it salmon?
Salmon?
You don't call it salmon. You're being obtuse.
Salmonellum.
Oh, God.
No, it's salmon.
So these almond orchards, just last week, I was flying them, mapping them out, checking out the blooms, to create a map and get an idea of how our bloom is doing so we can adjust things here and there. I used the Matrice 30 a couple days ago to go fly and check our storm drainage ditches to see how well they were blocked up, see how well the water was running off. That one I was using specifically to fly in the rain so we could get an idea of whether we needed to slog down there and unplug some stuff really quickly or not. So yeah, I use them for fun, use them for search and rescue work, and then I use my drones constantly on the farm for work as well.
I'm learning about drones and found your channel. Any tips? Save money.
Yeah, save money. Start small. Start with something like the DJI Avata if you want to get into FPV, or build your own FPV drones, because custom-made ones can do a lot more than off-the-shelf ones.
Walmart's not great for drones.
Walmart is, don't spend some extra cash, because if you get something that is going to, that you're going to just buy and fly, you're going to crash it into a tree and you're going to go, well, I would never be into drones. They're going to crash and all that. No.
That was a waste of $200.
Yeah. Spend some extra money, get something with some safety sensors, with the return to home feature, stuff like that. DJI is a very, very good product. They have kind of capitalized the drone market right now. If you're wanting to get like your Part 107 license, start studying and everything. If you want to do it for work, start studying, get your 107 license. If you're gonna fly recreationally, you're supposed to pass the trust exam. It is very easy. If you want to get your Part 107 license, it's fairly easy. If I passed it, you can pass it. But like learn about what you want to do with a drone before you go out and buy one, and also really learn about the regulations. There's a lot more regulations about flying drones than you would expect that I had no idea about when I first got into them, because the more people use their drones to just do whatever they want to and not pay attention to the rules and regulations, the more rules and regulations are going to come down. It's going to be harder for the people that actually, want to fly drones to help people or use businesses and whatnot. Don't fly them over crowds of people. Don't be an idiot with them.
Hint, hint, people at 4th of July.
Yeah, that.
Don't fight with other drones.
Don't fight with other drones over firework display at the 4th of July. Especially because then everyone will start texting and calling me and tagging me on Facebook going, Danley, is that you? What are you doing with your drone? No, it's not me. God, I'm sitting here looking at these people going, what are you doing? Don't fly your drones over crowds.
Making this guy look bad.
Yeah, don't. And I am the main character. Don't make me look bad.
All right. You should do drones versus weather. I agree.
I can absolutely look into doing that. It's going to depend on the weather. I'm not going to fly any of my very expensive tiny helicopters in rainstorms if they're not rated for it, but I am happy to do some wind tests. I'm happy to do a couple different tests. So if you have any ideas of like what weather you would like me to try different drones in, leave them in the comments.
Why do you always dress in a vest and helmet? I feel like we answered that.
I feel like we answered that, and I'm not wearing one right now. So.
Tactical Tim.
Tactical Tim.
Insert Tactical Tim right here.
Tactical Tim.
Where did you get your helmet? It's so girly pop. Definition of girly pop, please.
Please. I don't know what girly pop means. I don't.
I had to look it up. Thank you.
Yeah. If I remember correctly from what she told me, it means it's like cool, I think.
It's like...
It's good, right?
It's like slay, which I also just learned, which is like, I guess...
We are getting too old for this.
I don't know.
We're getting too old for this lingo. The helmet is from Team Wendy. It is the Ballistic SL helmet, I believe. Team Wendy makes a lot of different helmets, everything from like smaller, lighter bump helmets for like search and rescue, all the way up to full-blown ballistic helmets. So that's what I have, is a ballistic helmet from Team Wendy.
Think I'll get one.
You don't want to know how much they cost.
Do you prefer animals over people, and why? Yeah, I do, because animals do not talk. My dog is great. My cat is great.
I wanted to say something, but I'd have to really bleep it out.
All right, insert the bleeping right now.
You can't. I love animals, but there's a lot of things with humans you can do with them that you can't with animals. Like...
I'm crying.
A little bit of both. I love my dogs. I love cats. I love kittens, especially. I love my rabbits, especially the more delicious ones.
You got rid of Marble?
I gave Marble to a good home. She just had babies.
I know.
Go get some babies from Marble. Oh, God.
I can't have any rabbits.
You got to see the new rabbit I got.
Is it the big rabbit?
It's lion mate. It's a cute fluffy one.
Oh, I saw it.
We can go see it after this.
When I told my husband, oh, look, a cute bunny, and he said, are you going to eat it for dinner?
No, not eating that one. No, I think I got to give it to humans. I like hanging out with humans. I know. I'm sorry. At least humans can somewhat listen to reason. My dogs can't.
Oh,
when I told I just realized, never mind, because I'll tell my children to please stop screaming, and they'll keep screaming.
Do not listen.
I'll tell the dogs to please stop barking, and they won't stop barking. So, I mean, the moral of the story is no one listens to me.
True.
That's the answer.
I don't listen either. What is something that you love that doesn't love you back? My cat, Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski. I love that so much, yet he does not want to give me the time of day sometimes. But who wants to go take me in the bathroom? So that's cool.
Probably a little serious here. Alcohol. I really love alcohol. It does terrible things to me.
Alcohol does not love you.
No, alcohol does not love me. I like to drink. That's why I don't anymore.
Some people say you have a drinking problem, but you have no problem drinking.
Alcohol is a solution.
To every problem. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Okay. What is your biggest goal in life?
Raise good kids.
I would have to say the same.
Right? It's a strange world. Raise your kids to be good people that get involved in the community, and but
also raise badass kids.
Yes, raise kids that are happy to help people, but aren't afraid to go. Nope, time to fight when it's time to fight.
Yep. If you could get away with any crime scot-free, what would it be?
I'm not answering that. I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
Can we bleep that out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Don't come for me. If anime characters are based off of cats, does that make us all furries? I haven't
Degenerate.
I haven't watched anime. Is it really all?
No, it's not.
I was like, wait, what?
You and the Pyrex question about the test tube babies. You two get together
And make test tube babies.
and figure out what you're doing with your lives.
What is the meaning of life? 42.
42.
I just recently learned that.
I knew it. I'm better than you. I read the books.
I still don't know what it is. I was given the answer to this question
Oh, you got to read the
from the person who
You got to
asked
read
it.
the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's what my husband said too.
If you're a fan of absurdist humor, you will love that book.
Yes, I will look into it. All right. Do you believe in curses? If not, can I have some of your hair?
Yes and no.
How much do you need? My hands are too cold for this. Here you go. It's falling out anyways. It's coming by airmail.
What the f?
I would like somebody to put a curse on me.
You are cursed. You can't drive, your laptop's delayed. You're sitting in an orchard freezing your butt off reading questions from the internet.
What's your ultimate goal with drones?
I don't know if there's an ultimate goal. There's just the ongoing goal of keep finding out ways to improve farming and help people. There's not really much more to say about that. Just keep using them and keep thinking of ways to make the world a better place.
Not get tired of it.
Yeah, not get tired of it.
That's a lot of money to get tired of. How far do you think drone technology will go? Let's just answer that one like this. Too far.
Too far. Just watched it last night. I'll send you the video if you haven't seen it. Go watch the YouTube video called Slaughterbots and have crippling existential dread like I do.
That sounds terrifying.
It's awful.
Ooh, what's the craziest conspiracy theory you low-key believe? Oh my god, Helen Keller, that she is not deaf. She's not blind. That she was a fake. She really was. I fully believe that. She is a lying, manipulative little... There's a lot of honks in that.
Yeah. There's something in the woods that I think preys on humanity. And
100%.
Yeah, and I think that's why people go missing in the woods and never turn up. I don't know if I can even put that in there. I'm going to get hunted down.
If you're watching this, we do not go missing intentionally. We would never leave our families, and we would not, you know, commit the spicy goodbye.
Yeah.
Into the forever bye-bye box. So,
I feel like we have to redact like all of this. I almost wanted to retake it again. There's something in the woods. Don't know what it is.
And Helen Keller is...
Yeah. Helen Keller's not deaf, and there's something in the woods.
What are your thoughts on drone warfare?
I think it's here to stay, and it's only going to get scarier. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more squad level tactics of it coming, for having like, you know, one person with a drone that's just a spotter and one person that has a drone that's armed, attached to different squads. I see it becoming more and more and more and more prevalent, especially in organized militaries as well as insurrection movements. I know like the history of drone warfare, it really started going, I know I'm freezing, I'm like shivering over here. It really started getting its prevalence in the Middle East, and now it's really moved to the forefront with the Russo-Ukrainian war. I think it's here to stay, and there's very little we can do about it, because sure, my DJI drones are all geo-referenced and have to broadcast remote ID, and you can kind of see where they are if you have the right technology all the time, and can be grounded pretty easily. But like the FPV drones and stuff we see, you can build those in a shop with like a soldering iron and a YouTube video and parts from any online seller. And yeah, it's a terrifying future we live in.
It is terrifying, and I've been watching more about drones, and it's scary. Do you want me to read all of my questions? I'm just going to cut out a few of my questions that I added, but I'm going to ask you these ones.
Gotcha.
Can you do your best impression of selling hot dogs at a baseball game?
Get your hot dogs here. Get your hot dog. What kind of question is that? I actually hit you way too hard. I'm sorry.
I asked that question because I just wanted to see you make a fool of yourself.
I do that enough as it is.
Straight facts, no printer. Dog break. What would you do if this video blew up tomorrow? Because it became a meme.
I am a living meme. I would be happy that it got some traction, and would be happy to answer any other questions, and maybe do another Ask Me Anything video for another milestone, or turn it into just have more sit-down chats or streams for, hey, let's sit down and ask questions and whatnot. Because that's something I thought about, is honestly, once we get more subscribers and whatnot, doing some lives and sit there and just
Let's do a podcast. That'd be fun.
You're the second person to ask me to do a podcast, and I'm going to say, you guys want me to do that? Y'all produce it.
I will do that.
I've got enough on my plate.
I will produce the podcast.
Travis.
Look out for Northwind Aerial Imaging podcast coming out soon as I figure out how to put my kids to bed on time.
You and me both. No, Travis was talking about wanting to do a podcast, and I was like, hey, I'd be happy to do one with you. I'm not producing it because...
Yeah. Travis, this is our job now. Why are your videos so long?
Because I make what I want to. I'm trying to work on getting them shorter, but like there's a lot of stuff I want to fit in. I draw inspiration from a couple of the larger YouTubers, such as like Rikard From, Outdoor Boys, and The Boys. They make a lot of different longer videos, and I thoroughly enjoy them. My brain has not been rotted by the modern internet, so I actually still have an attention span where I can sit down and watch a 30 to hour and a half long video and love it. So that's where I draw inspiration from, and I enjoy making the videos. So I try and edit them down as far as I can, but there's a lot of stuff I like to fit into them, and they end up being as long as they are. So
that leads us to the next question. Are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok, at Northwind Aerial. That is where I definitely put some more of the more memey, memetic. Memetic sounds more sciencey. More of the kind of funnier videos and whatnot. Same as like the YouTube shorts and whatnot. I try and make that funny. I'm hoping to hand off a lot of like the shorter videos and everything to Aaron over here to do those, like using some of my stuff I record or some of the stuff we both record.
I'm just trying to get my TikTok blown up, okay?
Yeah, well,
at least I can go live on TikTok.
Yeah, probably about time, isn't it?
All right, finally, what other social media platforms are you on?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I think those are the 4 that I'm on right now. I also have a website at northwindaerialimaging.com. I'll put a link to it and whatnot, so welcome to get me on there.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, we gotta go take care of our children. We're both working parents, and we've left our spouses in charge of 4 children between the ages of 4 and
6 months.
Yeah, so thank you to our spouses. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Don't let me know.
Yeah, no, let me know.
All right.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, remember, hats. We hit 1,000 subscribers. We'll give away one of these hats.
Not this one, though.
Not that one. That's our special one. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
See you in the next one.
Gonna kick it.
GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.